One more thing from Fightful. This came out, again, one of those things. It came out after we hit record last week, and that it's rumored, not confirmed, just an idea. And I don't think they would report this unless there was some credence to it, that a possible match for WrestleMania at WrestleMania 40 next April could be CM Punk against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now that Punk is back in WWE, Steve Austin has returned to the ring. There is a decent, not a decent chance, but a slight chance, more than there ever has been in years past, probably as much as there was in 2012 and 2013 and 2011 when they first teased the matchup, of us getting Punk and Austin at WrestleMania. Before we go any further with it, what's your reaction to the report, and do you think that we could see this match at WrestleMania next year?
I think it's possible, but I feel like everything on TV, I feel like they're just pointing to Rollins and Punk. I mean, they just keep teasing it, so I feel like that's the direction they're going. And I mean, I guess things could change if, like you said, if things actually start to go somewhere. But I don't know. I not that I don't want to see. I just, I guess at the end of the day, I don't overly want to see it at this point. Like I get like what Steve Austin with Owens was fine. I don't know. I just feel like it's just like one of those things. Like I don't want to see fucking Tom Brady playing quarterback when he's 60. I don't know. I feel like with Austin, like what he did, and just know from what he like. Just know him for like the good times. Like he's just like an older man now. I don't know. I just feel like it wouldn't be the same. I don't overly want to see that.
It wouldn't be the same. I mean, the guy is almost 60, and it would have been better 10 years ago had they done it then, but Steve wasn't convinced to come back, and he was also going through knee surgery at the time, so they never really had an opportunity to do the match where he would have agreed to it. I'm the same person. It's actually funny because I had brought up the possibility to Alexis's dad a couple days ago of the match, because he likes CM Punk, and he doesn't mind that he's back. But I mentioned the option, or the report, that we might be getting Stone Cold and Punk in Mania, and thinking... You would think, and again, he might be in the minority here. This might not be the majority opinion. But you would think, like, someone who's been watching wrestling for a long time, I don't know if your dad's the same way. I would be curious what your dad's take on that match would be if you broached the subject with him. Because people like Goldberg, and maybe not Taker at this point, that guy's a bag of dust, but people like Goldberg, when they come back, that older generation specifically think it's cool because they know these people and they're back and whatever. Whereas the people that actually watch the product from week to week know, I don't need fucking Goldberg back. The last couple matches he's had were just not good. But he actually did not like the idea. He said he's way too fucking old and he doesn't want to see the match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and CM Punk. And I'm not saying it would be a barn burner. I just think it would be worth it for the promos alone, and I think the match would be serviceable enough to do. If this was Steve Austin at 65, at the age of 65, not WrestleMania 65, I'd be like, probably not. Or they just, or if they did that Owens match and it sucked. Like it was awful. Like it was Taker Goldberg levels of bad. And then they were like, oh, what about this Punk match? I'm like, no. Like that's past. I don't want to see that anymore. Because Punk's not a spring chicken either. The guy's 45. He got hurt. 2 major injuries in the span of like 6 months in AEW. He could get hurt at any time. I think it's worth it, honestly. I'm not saying that they will do it or that I necessarily need to see it, because the backup plan of Punk and Rollins is not a bad thing. I know you said they were teasing Punk and Rollins, and they are. I mean, it's not like this is in the books. They would really need to convince Steve Austin to come back for it. I think we could see him in like a Rumble or something, or if they just left it at what it was, I wouldn't complain either, because that was a great send-off for WrestleMania 38. I don't know. I just feel like that might be a match worth doing, and it could give us one big Mania main event with Punk and Steve Austin, and Rollins can defend. There's no shortage of opponents, I think, for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He just might not be in the WrestleMania main event if that's the case.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I guess depending on the circumstances, but like I said, I just feel like it's not gonna, like you said, I know it's not gonna be an in-ring classic, but to me, like, since I'm like really into the product again, I just want to focus on the future. Mm-hmm. I get like Austin, but like to me, it doesn't really solve much.
The match to do is still Punk to Rollins, or Punk versus Rollins to you, a Mania for the World Heavyweight Championship?
I believe so, yeah.
I think it killed 2 birds with 1 stone with that one. We probably mentioned it last week, but if you do that matchup, both guys have talked about on record, Punk, I don't know if he cares anymore, probably not. And he didn't mention it in his return promo, that he wanted that main event of WrestleMania before he quit the company 10 years ago. Rollins is also wanted that main event of WrestleMania, and he doesn't count WrestleMania 31 when he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase. He wants to be on the marquee. You do Punk and Rollins and no one gets hurt before then, that's a marquee main event for WrestleMania. I think it would be the first time would it be the first time that we've had back-to-back WrestleMania main events where the World Championship was on the line? I think so, because in 37 we had a women's main event, 38 Steve Austin and Owens main event in night one, and then this past year was the tag titles because the world titles were still unified. So we haven't had a WrestleMania yet, and WrestleMania 36, Taker and Styles main evented as well. So we haven't had a two-night Mania yet, and this is going to be the fifth one coming up, where a world championship is main evented both nights, a men's world championship. And if you have a women's match that's bigger, then go for it. But I think Rhea and Becky, if that's the match, that's a big match to do. I think Seth Rollins and CM Punk would be the bigger bout, and you do that as the main event. So Rollins continuing to plant more seeds as far as the CM Punk stuff goes on Raw every single week. We'll see where that goes in the months ahead, but I'm looking forward to it.